Welcome to Budget Beauty, where I help you look flawless for less. Welcome back, and a very special welcome if you're new here. My name is Jen and this is Budget Beauty. We do everything beauty on a budget, and that includes drugstore makeup. There are so many great drugstore brands out there that rival high-end for a fraction, and I mean a fraction of the price. One of my favorite drugstore brands is e.l.f. They are one of the most affordable and the highest quality drugstore brands. So today, because you're always asking for affordable makeup, full faces of drugstore makeup, get ready with me. We are doing a full face of e.l.f. cosmetics. Everything from my base skincare all the way up to every piece of makeup on my face will be coming from e.l.f. Cosmetics. So if you're excited, give this video a big thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed and your bell notification is turned on because I upload lots and lots of new videos every single week. I am going to go ahead and link all of the products that I used today from e.l.f. down in the description box for you. You'll also find my favorite beauty subscriptions. And of course, don't forget, come on over, follow me on TikTok for more beauty on a budget. So we have a full face of e.l.f. Cosmetics. Let me zoom you in and let's get started. I did some skincare this morning, just a small amount several hours ago, put on some sunscreen. I just got back from taking a walk. I live in Arizona where it's hot and sunny, so I wanted to make sure that I at least had some SPF on my face. I'm going to go in with the e.l.f. Hydrating Serum. This is a dupe to the Glow Recipe Watermelon Niacinamide Drops. This adds just a ton of hydration to the face, very similar to that. Allows your face to have a nice hydrated base before going in with makeup, and it's much more affordable than Glow Recipe. I actually have both products. I love them both equally. But if you are balling on a budget and you want to focus on drugstore makeup, the e.l.f. Hydrating Drops are really good. For primer, I'm using the Luminous Putty Primer. If you follow my channel, you know that I love a good glow. I have normal to dry skin, so I don't usually prefer matte products. I like products that have a little bit more of a luminescence and glow to them. I have actually never used this product before. I've used I think it's their Matte Putty Primer, the one that's white. But this one is the one that has the luminosity and the glow, which is a little bit more what I prefer. So you can see that it has a little bit more of like a goldy yellow shift to it. So what I do is just reach in and start applying. What's great about the Putty Primer is it does fill in any fine lines and wrinkles. It does fill in any large pores, and you can see, wow, you can see that this primer is definitely giving me a glowy base, which is perfect to apply makeup on top of because that little bit of glow should peek through my makeup. So that feels really nice. It's a teeny bit tacky, as a primer should be, but it definitely added some luminosity. Ooh, I really like this. This is a tried and true e.l.f. product for me. I absolutely am obsessed with their foundation. This is the Flawless Dewy Foundation, and I am in the shade medium. This one has a little bit more of a neutral undertone, which is what I am, a warm neutral. And again, I'm in the shade medium. This is such an amazing foundation. It blends flawlessly. It lasts all day, and it gives a nice medium to full coverage, and it's absolutely buildable if you want a little bit fuller coverage. It has a pump top, which I love. I usually pump 3 to 4 little pumps on my hand. We'll go ahead and get that on the face, and then we'll blend it out. I'm using my Real Technique sponge. I love this huge one with the flat side. It's my favorite for foundation. And we are blending her in. As always, it is laying down beautifully. I prefer a more medium coverage foundation. I'm not someone that generally goes for full coverage, but like I said, with this particular foundation, you can definitely layer it if you want a little bit more full coverage. Now this again is the medium shade. It might be just a hair light for me, but we'll go ahead and fix that with some bronzer. So see how nice that looks? It added a nice base. You can still see, you know, freckles and moles and things through the foundation. So I want to show you that you can build this up. So I'm going to put about 3 more pumps on my hand, and we'll add a little bit more so I can show you that it definitely is a buildable foundation. All the discoloration on my face is being covered up with that second buildable layer. And that's what I love about this foundation. I want to say this is like $6 or $8. Super, super affordable. And in my opinion, honestly, better than a lot of the high-end foundations I have. That looks amazing. So that is how layerable and buildable this is. I can no longer see any discoloration on my face, and it just added this perfect, beautiful look to the skin. For concealer, I have the Hydrating Camo Concealer. Now, I have tried this product in the past. I don't think it was the hydrating one. I think it was the actual camo concealer, and I hated it. It just caked under my eyes, accentuated all my fine lines and wrinkles, but they have the hydrating one now, so I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that this one is much better. I have mine in the shade Light Peach. I have to say I love the Big Doe Foot applicator on this. This looks like a great shade. And one thing to note about peach tinted concealers and color correctors is they can color correct darkness, which I have a little bit of darkness under my eyes. So I appreciate a good concealer that can help with the darkness. I'm going to use that same sponge, flip it over to the more pointy side and blend that out. I'm going to bring that onto my lid, and I'm going to use the concealer as the base for my eyeshadow. This is looking good. This is looking good. I don't see it caking up or accentuating all of my fine lines. Less is more with concealer, I'll tell you that, because if you go too crazy with concealer when you're my age, over the age of 40, it can really just gunk up and really look dry and cakey under the eyes. This actually looks really good, and it feels really good, really hydrating. To set my face, I'm using my favorite powder, and when I say favorite powder, I don't mean that lightly. This is the e.l.f. Halo Glow Powder. Mine is the more pinky tinted shade. This is the best setting powder I've ever tried. Ever. Not drugstore, but ever. I love this for under my eyes. It does not settle into my fine lines. Again, it doesn't make it look cakey. It is so finely milled. Oh, it is such a fantastic powder. So I'm going to go ahead and set my entire face, including my under eyes. I always like to set my under eyes rather quickly because I don't want my concealer to crease. Look how flawless that is. I mean, there is no texture, there are no fine lines showing, and it sets the concealer and it lasts all day. It really truly is such an incredible powder, and again, it's under $10. And like I said, I'm going to set my face as well. I am using the Beauty Blender sponge for setting powder and for setting your face. I love this sponge. I love this. It is a Sephora product. It isn't super expensive, and it is so perfect to put on powder because you can press it into the skin and it really just gets into your pores. And I feel like when I set my face with this Beauty Blender, my base makeup lasts much longer throughout the day. I truly cannot rave about this powder more. Definitely pick it up. Now we need to bronze up my face because it's definitely lighter than my body. So this is the bronzer that I decided to pick up. I have never tried any bronzer from e.l.f. Cosmetics. This is the Primer Infused Bronzer, and I'm in the shade Forever Sunkissed. I'm really excited to try this because, like I said in the beginning of the video, I find that for drugstore makeup, e.l.f. is the best out there, and I've never tried a bronzer. So I'm hoping that this lives up to all of the other amazing e.l.f. products. Here's the shade that looks absolutely perfect for me. So I'm going to go in with a dense brush. I prefer a dense brush for bronzer, and I'm going to start by bronzing the cheek area, and then I like to pull that up towards my temple. You want to add bronzer wherever the sun hits your face. And because my foundation is a little too light for my skin, I'm really going to focus on bronzing up to get my face to match my body. I will say that the bronzer is going on very nicely. It is 100% buildable. I've been able to build that up quite a bit, and I feel like it's definitely giving my face a little bit of that bronze sun-kissed look. I also put bronzer on my forehead, down my nose, and then I always bring it under my chin. If you have a double chin, that absolutely helps to camouflage it. I could have went a little bit deeper for a shade of bronzer. This one is a little bit a little bit light and a little bit more cool toned than I normally go for. I generally pick a warm tone bronzer, but I think it's really pretty on the skin. It definitely added the color I needed. Now for blush and highlighter, I found this and I thought this was really cool, especially for travel or if you're on a budget and you want 2-in-1 products. This is a blush and highlighter duo. It says baked highlighter and blush, and I have the shade Rose Gold. This was really affordable, and like I said, it's 2 products in 1, which is a great way to save money and is also great if you have limited space for makeup or for travel. So it's definitely that baked formula. You can see it raised in the pan. It's really pretty. The blush is more of a luminous blush. It's definitely not a matte blush, and then we have the highlighter. I will go ahead and swatch them for you. Oh, those are really pretty. So there's your blush. Now it's pretty sheer. I'm hoping it's a little bit buildable, but look at that highlight. I mean, that highlight is stunning. So first I'm going to go into the blush. I can see that it picked it up on my brush, but I'm not getting a lot of payoff as far as pigmentation. It's definitely adding a glow to my cheek, which is great, but that's what I want the highlighter for. But I'm really not getting any blush color or pigmentation. I'm really going to dig in. Yeah, that's too bad. It's definitely pretty and shimmery, but it is not giving me any blush, any pigmentation. I really feel like you can mix both of these together and make a highlighter, or you could use the blush shade as a highlighter. So that's a little bit disappointing, but I do want to try out the highlighter. And like I said, worst case scenario, you could use both of these for highlight. I'm using my Jaclyn palette here in Hot Lava and Cocoa Rich for my mirror. So I think I'm just going to pick up a tiny bit of the blush from this palette, just so I have a little color on my cheeks. You can see that blush from e.l.f. peeking through though with that pretty glow. So it would be a beautiful, beautiful blush topper, but it just doesn't stand on its own as a blush. So now that I have a little color on my cheeks, let's go ahead and try out the highlighter. So I'm going to focus on just picking up from the highlight side. Well, that's pretty. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. It's definitely a little bit more of a natural highlight. I mean, you can see the highlight, but you know me, I love a good glow from space highlight. So for me, I would definitely want to build this up to give it the opacity and a highlight that I like. But what's great about it is it's buildable. So you can go with a little bit more natural, or you can go back into the pan and really build up the highlight. It is really pretty though. I mean, it's really pretty. Look at how beautiful that is. The highlight definitely redeemed this little duo from the blush. I always put highlight on my cheeks, down my nose, and then I like a little bit above my brows and on my forehead. And of course, the glow stash. I love the highlight. I love it more than I thought that I would. I was a little bit nervous in the beginning, just thinking that it wasn't as in your face as I like my highlight to be. But what's great about this, you could go light-handed or you can build it up. I love this. And again, use the blush as a blush topper. Now we're ready to go into my eye look, and I had a little bit of a faux pas. The palette I decided to pick up is the Hot Jalapeno. You know I love a good green eyeshadow palette, but in normal Ulta fashion, they just throw everything in a box or in a padded envelope. So my palette, the green shade here, came completely shattered. So I'm going to do my best to press it into place. I didn't want to try to return it. It's a $3 eyeshadow palette, but I'm going to try to clean it up a little bit so that we can test it out and see if it's even worth the $3 price point. So I did my best to clean it up. I did pull the green out of the yellow shade here and kind of pressed that green into place. We have 2 mattes and 2 shimmers. I think this color story is stunning. And like I said, you know I love a good green look. So I'm going to go ahead and start out with the lighter green matte. I'm going to pick that up on a fluffy brush. This is a little bit more of a dense fluffy brush, which is what I prefer to really lay down that base in my crease. Ooh, this is really pretty. That was one swipe in. So the pigmentation is 100% there. At first application, you can see it looks a little patchy. So let me see if I can get that to blend out. So I was able to get it to blend. I mean, it's still a tiny, tiny bit patchy. Let me see if I can build it up. It's definitely buildable, and I was able to eliminate any patchiness. This is a really pretty color. It's kind of an olive army green. I really, really like it. These little bite-sized e.l.f. eyeshadow palettes can be really hit and miss. I've had some that were absolutely stunning, and then I've had some that were just a mess, like a hot patchy mess. This one seems to be pretty good. I will say that it does go on, this green shade at least, a little bit patchy, but it's buildable and it's blendable. So you're able to blend that patchiness out and you end up with a really pretty olive green shade. Now with a dense angled brush, I'm going into the deepest green shade in the palette, which I really, really love this green shade. It's very grungy, which you know I love, and I'm going to apply that in the outer corner. Okay, that is beautiful. That is not patchy at all. And one thing I will say is there's no kick up in the pan and I have no fallout, which is pretty incredible for a $3 eyeshadow palette. I am obsessed with this green shade. Oh my goodness, this is so beautiful. I just recently did a review on the e.l.f. Game Up palette here on my channel, which is their newest kind of colorful palette collection. Definitely check that video out. I'll link it down below for you. That was such a great release. I bought a lot of the pieces, the lippy, a liner, the palette, the setting spray. Really, really great release from e.l.f. So definitely check out that video. But I will say, look how beautiful that is. Not patchy at all. No fallout, and I love this color. I really love this deep green. It's so pretty. So now into the Broken Shimmer shade, I'm going to just use my finger. Oh, that's beautiful. And I'm going to apply that to the lid. I will say that I'm glad that the shade that came Broken is a shimmer because they're really easy to press back into place. And this color, oh, she is delicious. She is stunning. That, oh my gosh, that is so pretty. I love that it's a yellowy, limey, grungy green. Ooh, whew, I really like that. I'm a little extra sad that the shade came Broken. I always like to say that I will use a brush to apply shimmer, but I also really like to use my finger. I feel like you get the biggest payoff when using your finger to apply shimmer. Look at this. Oh, I am going to use a brush to go into this really pretty goldy green shifty shimmer. I'm telling you, the color story in this palette is gorgeous. Ooh, this is pretty. This is really pretty. So you can see it's pretty similar to the first shade, except for it has a gold base to it. I will say that I don't think the shimmers in this palette are that different. They look very different in the pan, but once you apply them to the eye, they're pretty similar with the exception of this inner corner shade here having a little bit more of a gold undertone and a gold shift to it. I mean, they're both absolutely stunning. It would have been nice though if the shimmers were just a little bit different, but you can see the difference. I mean, you can see the green versus that gold. These shimmers are out of this world. These shimmers are stunning. Look at that. They're absolutely stunning. They went on beautifully. I love that they are bold and they're pigmented. They're really, really beautiful. Before we do my lower lash line with that same fluffy brush that I applied the lighter green shade, I'm not picking up any more shadow. I'm just going to quickly give it one more blend. Using that same flat brush that I applied the inner corner shimmer with, I did clean it off on my color switch. I'm going to go in with the deepest green shade and pull that under my lower lash line. I really love this green shade. I really love every shade in this palette. That's really pretty. It just adds a little bit of depth and a little bit of smokiness. And then with that same brush into that Broken, really pretty green shimmer, because you know I love a shimmery lower lash line, I'm going to blend that right on top and smudge that deep shade out a little bit more. And lastly, I picked up a little more of the goldy shimmer and I'm just going to put that right in the inner corner. Wow, this is so beautiful. I mean, this is a beautiful, beautiful color story. I'm impressed. I mean, look at how beautiful this eye look is. The formula in here, the mattes, the shimmers, everything is beautiful. And this is a $3 eyeshadow palette. $3. Now I'm a little extra sad that my one shade is Broken, but I am going to continue to use it. There's still plenty of shadow left and I really am in love with this. I'm really in love with the eye look. So let's go ahead and do our liner. So I picked up the Intense Ink Liquid Liner from e.l.f., of course, in the black shade. I'm a liquid liner girl. I very, very rarely use kohl liner in my waterline, but for my actual eyeliner, I much prefer a liquid liner because I am someone who always creates a wing. It makes my eye shape stand out a little bit more. This is nice. I really like the packaging of this. It's a little bigger, fatter component, and look at that felt tip liner. That's one of the biggest felt tip liners I've ever seen. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my wing. I usually do both sides in the beginning to make sure that they're even. That looks perfect. And then we'll go ahead and pull that over and fill it in. And then I pull it onto my lid as well. I definitely don't want to go too crazy with the liner because I want this beautiful shimmer, these beautiful shimmers on my lid to really stand out. They're incredible. I really like this liquid liner, and I am a liquid liner connoisseur, and that was not, it did not skip at all when I applied it. It's pigmented. The brush tip is wet enough that I can get a one and done swipe for liner. This is a winner. For mascara, I decided to pick up the least expensive e.l.f. mascara. This was only $3. This is their volumizing mascara in black. Now, the reason I picked this up is because I really want to put it to the test and see if for only $3, you can end up with a really great mascara. So here's what the wand looks like. Absolutely my preferred wand style. Let's put a $3 mascara to the test. It claims to be volumizing, so I'm looking for volume in my lashes. I also would love to have a little bit of length and a little bit of blackness, and so far, this is going on really nice. Here's one coat. So far, so good. And there's one coat on the lower lash line. So I want to test this out, see again if it's buildable and I can really add more volume. While that first coat of mascara is drying, I did pick up a second concealer. Like I said, I have not had the best of luck with the camo concealer, and I was afraid that if I hated it, I could wipe it off and I would have a backup concealer. And this is the Flawless Brightening Concealer. Now, I have heard amazing, amazing, amazing things about this. I am going to test this concealer out tomorrow, and I will go ahead and put here on the screen what my thoughts are because I will have tested this prior to editing this video. But like I said, I've heard really, really good things. It does have that brush tip, so you can see it looks like a lip gloss brush tip, and you push it up from the bottom, and then it is supposed to not only conceal but brighten the under eye. And like I mentioned, I do have a little bit of darkness under my eye, so anything brightening for me is something I gravitate towards. So hopefully this is great as well, and I have two amazing Drugstore e.l.f. concealers to choose from. So let's go ahead and apply coat number 2. Now, it is definitely adding more volume than that first coat. I mean, the first coat was really good, but this second coat, you can see how much longer and more full my lashes look. Wow, $3 mascara. Pretty impressive. So that is 3 coats of the mascara. I'm literally impressed. This is a fantastic mascara for $3. I have volume, I have length, I have blackness. Chef's kiss. Now for my brows, I picked up 2 products. I am someone who uses a brow pencil and a brow gel. Now the brow pencil that I chose is the Brow Pencil Instant Lift, and I went ahead and grabbed the shade Neutral Brown. There's a brow pencil on one side and a spoolie on the other. Now I've never used a brow pencil from e.l.f. I've used the brow gel, but I've never tried their brow pencil. So it is a twist up pencil. It looks like nice and thin, easy to draw those hair-like strokes, and then again a spoolie on the other end. So hopefully neutral brown is a good color. I have a pretty thick, bold brows, so I don't need to do a lot of filling in. There's just a few sparse areas, and then I like to just draw that end of my brow. This is great. Oh my, it is so creamy. Wow, this is going on really nicely. I have tried some high-end brow products, ABH, Benefit. This one I feel like is creamier and easier to apply and fill in my brows. I'm speechless. This is such a good brow pen. Such a good brow pen. And it was, I don't remember how much it was, but it was, I feel like it was around the $5 price point. I think I may have found my new favorite brow pen. Now this is a product that I've used before and I really, really like this. This is the e.l.f. Wow Brow, and I'm again in the shade Neutral Brown. Because my brows are longer and they get a little crazy throughout the day, I always like to set them with a brow gel. Now this is really affordable. It's a small component, so I find that I go through it pretty quickly, but it's so inexpensive that it's still a big bang for your buck. And you can see that I just kind of brush it through my brows, just setting everything into place. And it's the same color as the pencil liner, so these two pair really nicely together. I also did just get my brows waxed yesterday, so they're not as long and fuzzy and furry as they normally are a few weeks out from my brow wax. And like I said, the Wow Brow, really affordable, probably the least expensive brow gel that you can find. And it does a great job, again, of filling in your brows and setting them into place. And then for lips, I decided to go a little bit more neutral because I have such a dark, smoky, bold eye look. So I did grab the e.l.f. in the shade Fantasy. This is their lip lacquer. Now, I didn't know that it was as shimmy, shiny as it is, so I don't know if it's going to give a more frosted look, which is definitely not my favorite, but we're gonna test it out. It does have a nice doe foot applicator. All right, it is definitely pretty close to my natural lip color. It is not as frosty as I thought it would be on the lips. It feels really nice. It is not sticky. Actually, it feels really nice. Very, very hydrating. I like it. It's more of a your lips, but better. It just added a gloss and a shine. Really no color, which is fine with such a bold eye look. It feels really nice on the lips. I'm actually really happy to have this. And last but not least, we're going to set my face with the e.l.f. Game Up Setting Spray. Again, I featured this in my review of this line. Spoiler alert, this setting spray, incredible. Did you see the mist on that? It is so fine. It does not blast your face with liquid. Again, I was really impressed by this. You can see that in my review video, but that is the completed look. Let me go ahead and zoom you out and we'll go over my final thoughts on this full face of e.l.f. So let's go over my final thoughts on this full face of e.l.f. Overall, I think my makeup looks beautiful. I love the deep, smoky, grungy eye with the more neutral lip. So overall, I really, really enjoyed everything that I used. Let's go ahead and talk through each product individually. So first, the hydrating drops. Like I said, these are great, an excellent, more affordable dupe for the Glow recipe. Just add some nice hydration to your skin before you start your makeup. And I was more impressed with this luminous putty primer than I thought that I would be. Like I said, I didn't love the matte one because I'm just not much of a matte type of girl, but I really liked this one. And again, it set a great foundation for makeup. The foundation is a holy grail for me. It's one that I've repurchased several times. I've shared it in my empties videos a couple times here on my channel because I really, really love this foundation. And then for the concealers, like I put on the screen, this one, I love this. It is hydrating, covered up any dark circles, brightened up that under eye. I really liked it. But I also really liked the camo one, the hydrating camo one. So I'm really happy to have both of these. And again, it's a great affordable drugstore concealer. You can buy both of these for less than the price of one mid-range concealer. As for complexion products, we already know that I love this powder. This is my favorite powder ever. It will probably always be my favorite powder for the price, for how great it works on the skin, how it sets everything in place. The bronzer, I like the bronzer. It was buildable. It was easy to blend. I just feel like I could have used 1 or 2 shades darker and maybe a little bit more warm tone, but that was my own fault because I'm the one that picked this shade out. And then as far as the blush highlight combo, again, it's much more of a blush topper or a 2 highlight option for me. It didn't give me enough pigmentation and blush. I prefer a more flushed look, but I thought the formula was really nice, and the highlighter surprised me. The Bite Size palette also blew me away. I did not expect this to be as good as it is because, like I said, they can be really hit and miss. I love this. I will be using this a lot. I can't believe how beautiful a $3 eyeshadow palette look turned out. And for the liquid liner, also 10 out of 10. Very excited to have this. I will definitely be buying this again. The mascara, I also really love the mascara. For a $3 mascara, it added volume, it added thickness, love. I'm also completely flabbergasted on how amazing this brow pencil is. This is my new go-to. It was creamy, it was pigmented, it was easy to use. I could fill my brows in without a hitch seamlessly, and I love the Wow Brow. If you want affordable brow products, I really can't recommend these enough. I love the formula of the lip product. I actually like the color a little bit more than I thought I would as well. It's very nude, very natural, and like I said, the setting spray, definitely pick it up. You will not be sorry. So let me know down in the comments, what do you think of my look? What do you think of the products? Are any of these products from e.l.f. your holy grails? Or did I entice you to try something you've been eyeing maybe but haven't tried? Overall, I'm extremely impressed. Extremely impressed. I have done full faces of other drugstore brands that didn't go as smoothly as this full face of e.l.f. went, and I'm really excited to dig into these products more. Let me know down in the comments if you'd like some more full faces of drugstore makeup. If there are any other brands that you'd like to see full faces of, definitely let me know. Everything will be linked down in the description box for you, along with all of my favorite beauty subscriptions. And of course, come follow me on TikTok for more beauty on a budget. I'm loving me some e.l.f. Cosmetics, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.